Hi there, Karen Roby here for Jason Square with Jason Cipriani and Jason Perlow with me today, talking about Apple and Google entering the streaming services market, specifically for gaming is what we're talking about here. Jason Perlow, we're going to start with you, as I know you are for this idea. You think this is a good market for them to enter. Tell me what your thoughts are here.
Well, obviously, the gaming industry is fairly mature at this point. You have the major console players. You've got Xbox with Microsoft, and you got PlayStation with Sony, and to some extent, you've also got Nintendo. But Apple and Google have not really been part of sort of that movement. They've had games on their mobile platforms for some time, but have not really. And they've allowed developers to monetize their app stores, but really they haven't gone into sort of the console style of gaming that we see on those other platforms, which are significant businesses for those other companies. I think that there's this other category of gamer, this casual gamer. Maybe perhaps they're of an older audience. More in my age group. My wife is a total fanatic when it comes to Candy Crush. She sits and she plays it on her iPhone pretty much, 9 hours a day, I think sometimes. So this is a completely different category of gamer that likes to play casually. I like to jump in and play racing games and stuff on my iPhone and my iPad occasionally, for 5-minute kind of like game snacking. And I think that this is their way of bringing this to the next level. Apple obviously needs to build out its services portfolio. They've done this with Apple Music. They're going to do this with Apple TV. And now they're going to do this with Apple Arcade, which I think is going to be a great thing for them.
Okay, I like that. You said game snacking. That is a new term I haven't heard of. All right, so Jason Cipriani, you're a little bit more skeptical about this idea. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, especially when it comes to services like Google's Project Stadia, which requires almost no hardware at all. You just need a Chromecast and a Project Stadia controller, which they just announced this last week. And then you pay a monthly fee and you get access to all these different games that they offer in their service. But the thing is, even if you are a casual gamer, is that fee going to be worth the amount of time you put into gaming, right? And forget the subscription part of it, but there's a lot more that goes into it. If you're now streaming a game that's supposed to come across at 4K resolution, you have to worry about your internet speed, your internet connection. Comcast, where I am, has data caps on the service as well. So then you're having to worry about whether or not you're exceeding the 1 terabyte limit, which I do every single month, and I don't even stream video games at this point. Online multiplayer is one thing, but when you're streaming the entire game along with multiplayer, what's that going to do to your data usage? And I'm just not convinced, for me personally, how much time I would spend actually using these games to get my subscription fee worth out of it.
Yeah, Jason Cipriani, and while we've got you speaking there about the subscription fatigue, is that a thing? Is there too much of this now?
Absolutely. I mean, you look at Apple Arcade, we don't know how much that's going to cost. Apple TV Plus, we don't know how much that's going to cost. We already pay for iCloud storage. If you're an Apple user, you likely pay for iCloud storage. And then you have Netflix and Hulu and all these other subscription services. And it seems like every day there's another service that pops up or company that pops up that says, hey, we're going to do this as well. And it's going to be 8, 10, 12, 15 bucks a month. Over time, those subscription fees add up and become extremely expensive. And I think when you piecemeal it and you first sign up for those services, you're like, hey, yeah, what's 10 more bucks a month? But when you sit down and actually look at how much you're spending in subscriptions, it gets to be astronomical. And yeah, subscription fatigue is definitely a thing. And it's especially this year, it's coming to the forefront as being really expensive as well.
Yeah, it definitely adds up quickly, Jason. So, Mr. Perlow, we're going to flip to you. What are your thoughts on that, about the subscription fatigue, and your final thoughts on this subject as well?
Well, certainly, I don't like having to pay, for Netflix and Hulu and all these other things, and then suddenly I'm up to 50 bucks a month just on video streaming, right? And I don't subscribe currently to any pay for music streaming services yet, although I'm now considering it. But you have to understand that the model for an all-you-can-eat streaming type of an arrangement has already been done by Amazon, right? Amazon has Prime, They charge, I believe, $100 a year for Prime, and as part of that, you get access to premium content on all of Amazon services, which include their video, and also to some extent they have a certain amount of music and things that are quite good. And not that I think Apple is necessarily going to take a page from Amazon, but if they have 5 or 6 different services, at some point they're going to have to start thinking about some type of bundling plan that is cheaper than just buying them piecemeal. And I think that for people who are going to start thinking about, you got Apple News, you got Apple Music, you're going to have Apple Arcade, you got their book services, and there's other things that they have that easily could add up to $70 or $80 a month worth of stuff. Their iCloud storage, yada yada, whatever. They're going to have to get that down, potentially all inclusive, I would think, to $50 a month or less, and that might be an attractive option for them going forward, especially if they're trying to capture the market away from their competitors, which are already established in the space.
Yeah, all right. Well, some great discussion there, guys. We thank you for that. Jason Cipriani and Jason Perlow for Jason Squared. Another great edition coming up next time. Thanks for watching.